Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 47 of the San Marino Challenge. Now, let's get this straight, first of all. Today's episode might be one of the most important games, probably is the most important game we've ever played on the series so far. We are versing Empoli, and it is of course the last day of the season, essentially. Our last game. And as you can see by the league table here, we are currently in 5th position on 70 points. Above us, today's opponent, Empoli, are in 4th place, the last Champions League spot, and they're also on 70 points. Now, the way that Italy works, or Serie A works, it goes by results on teams, against teams. So when you play each other, the team that wins or gets the better results will sit above the team below them, obviously. Then it goes on goal difference. Now, Empoli earlier in the season beat us 2-0, which I'll show you in a second. But they beat us. So they are on top of us, despite us having 4 goals better goal difference. What that means for us, in order to finish in 4th above them and get the last Champions League spot, is we have to win today. We're away from home. We have to win. If we draw, obviously their results are better than us, or compared to us, against us. So yeah, we have to win. We have to get the 3 points, which will obviously take us above them. And nothing else really matters apart from a win today. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way, of course, the previous episode was a 1-1 draw against Roma. Since then, I mean, we almost went unbeaten the whole time, but what I thought was going to happen pretty much did happen, and we've drawn quite a few games. However, after the Roma game, we managed to get a 2-1 away victory against Palermo. Vitek and Cizek, both on the score sheet for us there. And they got a pretty late goal in the 82nd minute. But we did get all 3 points. We then returned home and managed a 1-1 draw against Torino. Pretty disappointing, seeing as we opened the scoring in the 5th minute through Champalat. They got their equaliser in the 14th minute. This next game was, honestly, it was one of the weirdest games I've ever played on Football Manager. It was a 4-4 draw away from home against Atalanta. And as you can see, Sabanda opened the scoring in the first minute. I think it was in the first 12 seconds. He broke a record for the fastest goal. I'm not sure if it was in Serie A or if it was a San Marino record. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so 1-0 up. Labadie then gets the second goal of the game in the 16th minute. Puts us 2-0 up. Okay, I was thinking, alright, it's going to be a pretty, straightforward game. We're already 2-0 up. That's kind of what you want as a manager, especially that early on. And then I have no idea what happened, but my team, or my defense in particular, absolutely lost their minds. They scored 4 goals within 7 minutes. The first goal came in the 29th minute. They then got the equaliser in the 31st minute. 3 minutes after that, they went ahead 3-2. And then 2 minutes after that, they went ahead 4-2. So, yeah, like I said, 4 goals in 7 minutes. After we were leading 2-0. I could not believe my eyes. So then we went into the halftime break. I went aggressive. Show me something else in the second half. And, we came out firing. Labadie scored in the 62nd minute for his second goal of the game. And then, out of nowhere, 81st minute, Pisardo, the really bad backup left back that we have, scored the equalising goal. And, like I said, one of the absolute weirdest games I've ever had in Football Manager. Now, the next game, another 1-1 draw, this time against Lazio away from home. Again, a pretty weird game. Scarby scored an own goal in the first minute, within the first minute. And we were lucky to get an equaliser through Cizek in the 28th. Basically saving us another point. Sort of, one of the reasons why we are where we are at the moment, I guess. And that was 3 draws in a row. We then bounced back out of the pretty, I would say 3 draws is pretty bad form. A nice little 4-0 victory here against Fiorentina. Gil, Toscano, Sabanda, and Renault all on the score sheet. And then came the next game against Juventus. And I was thinking, okay, well, we're probably going to get smacked. Juventus were top of the league. They have actually won the league, if you saw before in the league table. But yeah, we managed to beat them away from home. Chanplat in the 24th minute. We also had Petrocevic just coming back from injury, starting in the first team, picking up 2 yellow cards and getting sent off in the 58th minute. So over half an hour played with 10 men against the strongest team in the league, Juventus. And we managed to hold on for the victory. Really impressive. And then came the next game. Napoli smashed us 3-0 at home. So yeah, I don't know. Tale of 2 games, I guess. But, I sort of expected us to lose to Juventus and maybe beat Napoli. And, well, yeah. They scored 3, put 3 past us. Now, this next game is probably where essentially where we've come to find ourselves, I would say. A 2-2 draw at home against Cagliari, who were coming last. They were in 20th position as we played this game. And as you can see, they opened the scoring in the 13th minute through Rinaldi. We got one back 3 minutes later through Conforti. They then went 2-1 up through Sonny. And then luckily, we got a penalty in the 38th minute and Toscano put that away. And then we couldn't score a winning goal for the rest of the game. It is what it is. And like I said, it's the reason why we are where we are currently. And the final game just played was a nice little 2-0 victory against Salernitana. Chanplat with a brace coming back from injury. So, yeah, good stuff there. But that Cagliari game, we should not have lost points. We didn't lose, but we lost points. And essentially, the extra 2 points, well, it would have given us a bit more of an advantage going into this Empoli game. Only needing a draw if that was the case. We need a win. It's what we're going to go for. Let's get into the lineup for today's game. Again, it's going to be rotated. We still lack the squad depth that we need, not only for Serie A, but for European competition. We have secured Europa League no matter what. So even if we lose or draw this game, we will be guaranteed Europa League football. I think we will finish 5th. I can't exactly remember. Another thing to mention is Labadie's just picked up an injury, unfortunately, so he'll miss the last game of the season before returning to PSG. And then we have Gil Petrocevic, and there was someone else, the goalkeeper for the under-20s. They're all out at the French Youth Invitational, which they decided to start it before the seasons were finished. And that's pretty frustrating because it does mean that we're going to have to play Pisardo as our left back today, which is very scary because he's, as you can see, 6.73 average rating, and he's 1.5 star current ability or role ability in this team at the moment. Anyways, in goals, I'm going to go with Ingvarsen, right back Conforti. Leo and Scarby will be the 2 centre backs. Worth noting that Leo picked up under 19 Player of the Year, under 19 Defender of the Year, which is good to see. He's also changed his allegiance to Italy, which I didn't even realise. Of course, he was born in Switzerland, and that's where we signed him from. But yeah, he's changed his allegiance, playing for the under-20s in Italy, or for Italy. So yeah, he'll be partnered by Scarby. Like I said, left back today will be Pisardo. On the right wing, we're going to go with Renault. The left wing, unfortunately, Forte, who is not match fit. I say unfortunately, but Forte is a very good player. He was essentially our best player last season. But he's not match fit at all. I haven't played him. 49% match fitness, which is pretty dreadful. In the midfield today, we're going to go with Van Gelderen as the defensive mid, and then Sabanda and Toscano will unfortunately have to partner each other. Obviously, they're really good players. I say unfortunately because I would like to play Cizek there, but he is not fit for this match. So yeah, Champalat will be up front. The bench today, it's a bit small. Only 8 players on the bench. Pavoni, Veta, Cizek, Manafo, Vitek, Falbo, Shokri, and Antonio, who has just come back from an injury as well. So he will not start. This is a massive game. I mean, essentially, if we don't win this game and make the Champions League, we're essentially missing out on about £10 million, £10 million, I should say, which is huge, especially this season. Well, I say that, but our finances are very, very good. I'm going to say the recent form has them in 12th place while it has us in 2nd, which is very good. So, I'm pretty nervous actually going into this game. Like I said, £10 million better or worse off if we win this game or lose this game, or worse off if we draw as well. We have to win. Have to win. All right, we're on the defensive here. Pretty bad free kick by their player. It's worth noting that I am actually... This guy here, Novi, you might remember him from a few seasons ago. I did have him on loan. We're actually trying to sign him from Empoli, so I currently have a contract offer in for him, and he has accepted, and the transfer should be finalised after this game. So some good cover, especially for the defensive midfield position, which of course, we've got Manafo. Oh, that was a good opportunity. We've got Manafo, but he's really just not good enough, to be honest. It's worth noting that both of our centre midfielders have picked up yellow cards here as well, which is a little bit scary. No one's had a shot on target yet, which is... Renault's picked up a yellow card as well. 17th yellow card for Renault in the right wing position. Seems a little odd, but it is what it is. And, okay, my whole midfield essentially has picked up a yellow card now as we go into halftime. Far from pleased, obviously. And, like I said, the whole midfield 4, are on yellow cards. Champalat's not really playing too well. Neither is Renault. He's on a 6.3. We might actually take him off. Let's do it now, actually. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's bring Vitek on. I'm not sure. I might leave it a little bit longer before we think about taking Champalat off. He's just one of those players that can really just pop up with a goal, even if he's not playing too well. I want to tell the boys to push forward. It's pretty early. It's only the 65th minute, and apparently they're all frustrated. Come on, boys. We've got a highlight here. Conforti, Sabanda, Champalat. We're moving the ball pretty nicely. Pisardo. Obviously, I just like saying his name. Pisardo. Come on, Forte. Yes! Vitek off the bench. Yes! Come on! Forte with the assist as well. Oh, we're 1-0 up, boys. We're 1-0 up. So important to win this game. We move up to 4th position. That's what we are after. We need that Champions League spot. Alright, I think we're going to make another sub here. Bring Shokri on. Anything else need to be changed? I mean, Leo's a little bit scary on a 6.6 at the back. But we'll leave it how it is. Oh no. Oh no, it's happened. It's offside. Oh, it's offside. Thank God. Oh my God, we are so lucky that was offside. Come on, boys. Famous victory. They got the throw in pretty deep in our half. It's crossed in, it's cleared away. Shokri clears it away, and there we go. 1-0 victory over Empoli on the last day of the season. Oh, that is something special. It really is. I honestly can't believe we've done it. We've done it. We're into the Champions League again. On the last day of the season as well. Man, if you were an Empoli fan, you would be very, very upset and feel hard done by, to be honest. Wow. There we go. Qualify for the Champions League. Wow. Okay, that's pretty special as well. 600,000 per week wage budget for next season, and a 41.5 million transfer budget. And obviously, like I said, I'm already kind of spending a little bit. And we also get 8.5 mil for finishing in 4th place in Serie A. And then we obviously pay out the players there as well. If we look at the finances, 72.5 million now. The projection, well, for making the Champions League, that was actually negative for next season before this game. Probably should have shown you guys that, but yeah, it was actually negative, and now it's gone up essentially 20 million just by making the Champions League. So yeah, goes to show just how important it really is. Anyways, let's go into the squad. Just want to give a bit of an overview, as I sort of do, and we'll also show you the I'll show you the youth players that we got in this year's intake, and it's very good. Let me just say that. We've got 3 really good San Marinese youth prospects coming through, which, actually, do you know what? Before this episode finishes, I'm going to resign the San Marino national team manager, and we're going to apply for it. And I assume we just get the job straight away, hopefully. Anyways, let's go through the squad. So Labadie, of course, got injured for that last game. 41 starts, 1 sub-appearance, 14 goals, 12 assists. Our best player in regards to average rating this season, 7.40. And I mean, it just goes to show, I've mentioned it a few times, he is a world-class player. He definitely is. 4.5 star current ability, only 22. I mean, the fact that we got him on loan from PSG, I think, is pretty incredible for a player of his actual quality. But yeah, coming in second, we got Chan Palat, who is currently wanted by a few clubs. Well, he's wanted by Leicester, but he was wanted by quite a few teams throughout the season. And like I mentioned, we did actually give him a new contract. So, in theory, he'll be staying around. He does have a 28.5 mil release clause still, which is very low. It's still very low. But he's only on 47k per week, which was the maximum that I could actually offer him. So if I show you here, he's got a 23,500 appearance fee, 15,000 goal bonus, and then of course he's got a seasonal landmark bonus there as well. So yeah, we're paying a lot of money for him, but he's good enough. He's second best player of this season. 16 goals, 11 assists in 37 games with a 7.26 average rating. Interestingly enough, Forte still putting up big numbers. 8 starts, 4 sub-appearances, 3 goals and the 1 assist, of course, coming in that previous game. 7.15 during those appearances there. We then have Conforti, who got a 7.13 in 31 starts, 3 sub-appearances. 4 goals and 1 assist for him. A little bit low on the assists, but, it is what it is. We then have new signing Renault, who picked up 7 goals and 11 assists in 42 starts with 1 sub-appearance and a 7.11 average rating. For a first season, I think that's pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. We then have Antonio, who was injured for, I think, about 4 months. So, as you can see, hasn't played really any games, 3 starts, 4 sub-appearances, but he did really well, when he was called upon and when he was fit. 7.07 average rating during those games. We then have Van Gelderen, another new signing. Like I said, when I purchased him, or when I signed him on a free, very versatile, and that is exactly what he's shown for us this season. I mean, he's played right back, he's played centre back, he's played defensive midfield. Exactly what I wanted out of him. He's been really solid as well. 7.06 average rating, 35 starts, 3 sub-appearances, 5 goals and 2 assists, which is, again, a pretty good return from a versatile player like him. And then, interestingly enough, the final player I'll go over here is Ingvarsson, who managed to get a 6.99 average rating throughout the season. Of course, he started every game, 49 starts, Got the 1 assist, of course, that long ball. Well, you might not have seen it, actually. He played a really long ball over the top. And, Chamberlain got on the end of it. Yeah, I mean, that's basically where we're at. I mean, Leo just in behind him, 6.97. Hit and miss with Leo. I'm not too sure about him. Part of me wants to get rid of him and, bring someone else in that's a bit more solid. I am looking at centre-backs currently. As you can see, he's 20 years old, so he's still got a lot of potential. But his lack of passing and his lack of positioning just really doesn't excite me. It really doesn't excite me. We brought him in for peanuts, 750k. He's valued at 2.9 mil. We could easily sell him probably for about 5. Or we might keep him. I don't know. It's one of those decisions I'm going to have to come to. Of course, we've got Pesci coming back off loan, who really hasn't done very well at Venezia. But yeah, we've got Veta, who is essentially Leo, but better, despite not playing well when called upon this season. As you can see, a lot of his ratings down there are pretty dreadful, but he is a better player, stats-wise. All right, so that's the squad. We won't go over every player, but I do want to go over the under-18s. Now, this is where the series sort of picks up and it gets exciting. Like I said, before the end of the episode, we're going to resign the current national team manager for San Marino, and then we are going to apply for that job. I won't show you us actually getting the job because it will probably take some time, but I will show you that for the next episode, which will be the pre-season review and all that. First things first, we've got Bernardi, 16-year-old San Marinese prospect, goalkeeper. Not the greatest. Obviously, I'd just try and sign the goalkeepers, even if their potential's not too good, because goalkeeper is going to be a problem position unless we do get a really good prospect in. So I need a kind of... Well, my theory is to strengthen the depth and just get quite a few young players in, and maybe, one might develop a little bit better than the rest. Anyways, the next player is Cervellini, or Cervellini, yeah. We'll go with Cervellini. Another centre-back, which is a little bit unfortunate because we've essentially got 4 really good prospect centre-backs, but he could be the best of the bunch. He really could. He's got 13 marking, 12 tackling, 7 passing, not great, but, all of his attributes are going up. 10 heading, again, not great. But then you look at his physicals, 11 jumping, 11 strength, 13 pace, 11 acceleration. Yeah, I mean, he's pretty good. 4-star potential, possibly 5-star. And as I mentioned, he's already increasing quite a bit. Now, this next player, I'm super, super happy to bring in to the youth academy. Simone Albani. 16-year-old San Marinese, like I mentioned. I do think he has dual nationality, so he is Italian. So it's a little bit worrying. And if I become the national team manager, I'm gonna try and get him in to the squad straight away, get him capped in a proper game, so we have him locked in, because this guy could be a really good striker. This prospect, like, he looks like a possible first team player in the next 4 years. Really good pace, really good natural fitness, 14 off the ball, 13 composure, 12 heading, 13 finishing, 11 passing, which is obviously important for a deep lying forward, and then 12 technique as well. This guy could be something special. He's either footed as well, which is just another benefit. 4-star potential, possibly 5-star. I'm really hoping that he's going to develop into somewhat of a world-class player. The final player that we got from this year's intake is Michelotti, a San Marinese left-back. As you can see, another really high-quality player. Good tackling, marking, technique, really good pace for a left fullback. Good positioning as well at 11, which I think is solid. And yeah, good decision-making, concentration, and composure. It all looks pretty good. Again, 4-star potential, possibly 5-star. and we'll just have to wait and see how he develops. Now, I just want to show you guys quickly, of course, some of the other prospects. This is Biordi, who now has 20 caps for the San Marinese national team. As you can see, he's developed quite well. He's still developing. Really needs to work on the positioning there. Unfortunately, his potential dropped a little bit. It's back down to 3 stars, possibly 4, which is a little bit lower than before. We then have Ugolini, the other centre-back. Now, this guy, if his positioning went up a little bit more, I'd probably play him in the first team. That's how good he is. And as you can see, all of his attributes are just skyrocketing. 4 caps for the national team. Like I said, I mean, his physicals and his technicals are pretty outstanding. And I'm very happy with him. Might even be able to play right back. That would be interesting. Obviously, not great going forward, but, you know, we don't really have a right back, or a prospect at right back anyway. And the final player is Vicini. He's really good. 14 positioning, I mean, heading, marking, and tackling is all really good. Left-footed as well, which is important. He's got 11 caps for the national team. And, pretty high determination. He is 3.5 star potential, which I believe he was to begin with, I think. In terms of other players in the under-18s and under-20s, we've got Matsavina, who is a Croatian goalkeeper that I brought in a long time ago. I think, it was only brought in last season. But yeah, we brought him in for 80k, and he looks pretty outstanding, to be honest. He'd almost be a first-team goalkeeper. And he's going to be the backup for next season. Pavoni will be leaving us. And the other player is Sunzu, who is the 19-year-old Zamibian. 28 caps for the Zambian national team. And as you can see, he looks really good. The only reason why he's not in the first team is because of the non-EU rules that you can't register more than, well, in my case, more than 1 per season. So, yeah, that is what it is. Anyways, let's do this, shall we? We're going to add a new manager. Obviously, that's my personal name. So we'll use that profile. And then we're going to go into the national teams, into the senior squads, and then we're going to go right down to San Marino. Of course, if you want San Marino in your game, you're going to have to go back to the first episode or check the description of all these videos. It essentially explains what you have to do. Basically, you have to select a custom database, go to the San Marino the San Marino section, and then click all available players in order for the national team to be in your game. So if you're doing a San Marino save and you haven't done that, I would recommend you stop, because you're not going to be able to take charge of the national team and go back. And then, yeah, unfortunately, you'll have to do that. I don't think you can do it after you've started the game, which is pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. 192nd in the world. Okay, anyways, we're just going to skip through all this, because basically what I'm going to do is we're going to retire. We're going to retire this manager. Yes. Okay, there we go. So essentially, the real me has just left the job, and now we're going to apply for the national team. And there we go. Application has been received to fill the vacant San Marino managerial role. All right. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap this episode up, guys. I mean, what an episode it has been. Beat Empoli, had to win that game in order to get Champions League football. I mean, I've shown you all the new youth prospects. And now, finally, to end the episode, we've applied for the national team job. Super excited. Like, this is probably the best series I've ever done, guys. And I really do appreciate you all watching. I've gained a lot of subscribers, throughout this series so far. In terms of, me coming back to Football Manager this year. And I'm super happy. So much fun playing this series. It really is. And like I said, appreciate all the likes, all the comments. I do respond to all of them. So if you could leave a comment, just say hi. Just say enjoying the series if you are. Or, I mean, if you don't like it, you can also leave that comment. But I don't know why you'd be watching this deep. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.